Hi, and welcome to 50 Shades of Blonde. I'm Missy Day.
And Jill Branson.
And guess what? We're back!
Yay!
Yay!
We're so excited to be here.
So, how do you like our new home?
Oh my gosh. I mean, this is like light years. That's a play on words. Ahead. I'm so excited. It can only get better.
Yes, better. For sure. Well, I don't know how they get better. So let me just break this down for you right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're like in a real set. It's like watching a TV show or a movie take place here. We have a photographer, we have a makeup artist, and we have our hairstylist, who is the person that did our hair all last year for 50 Shades, Mr. Aaron Erickson, who is a superb hairstylist, did everybody's hair today for their shows. And so we have this cool set with this awesome table, and that's a really good segue, don't you think, for our words for 2019. You want to share yours first?
I would love to. My word is enlighten. Again, there's that word, enlighten. And that would be because I think that's like a win-win. When I can help and enlighten others, at the same time I'm being enlightened, because someone always, even if you're mentoring them, has something that they can share with you that you didn't know before. And so I have my business coach right here, and I have my clients, and I just want to help everybody feel comfortable, whether it's confidence, whether it's when you're networking, to know the strategies and the networking etiquette and be enlightened.
It's a great word. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling really enlightened right now. All these lights here.
It's like the sun is right there.
Yes, the big old sun. Well, last year my word was flourish. And it was flourish in my business and in my life, and that certainly took place last year. So this year I was thinking of things like go bigger, or things, and I was like, no, that doesn't really sound what I'm looking for. And then the word increase kind of popped out in front of me, and I said, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for increase not only in my business but in my personal life, all areas of my life to increase. And so this year, our show is certainly shown increase.
Definitely.
Like Jill said, it's light years from where we were before. And, which is not to say we didn't appreciate that, because that's where we started, and we had fun while we were doing our show there. But this is an increase, a step up for sure. And so this year, kind of the beginning of this year, my mom passed away in January. And so it's taken a big shift in my life, and I just had to take a step back and just kind of like not do business, not do my life for a while, because that was my main priority. And so it's good to be back. This is kind of like a coming out party for me. February, I'm going to just kind of like slowly ease back into business and things like that. But I am really excited about 2019. I think all of us, if you've been watching all the shows today, have awesome words for this year. And I know we're going to achieve them, and do great things are going to happen for us in 2019.
And that there is no doubt, because I think I shared with everybody on Facebook, well, maybe I just put it on a personal message, but just how much we have all grown, not just personally, but business-wise. And I was looking at the pictures, and we were doing our speaking course from Missy, and where we are today and where we were a year ago is just, it's amazing.
It is amazing. You girls have grown so much since we first did that very first class last year, and they've all been amazing at booking their own speaking events, and they had a graduation where they shared their short stories as well as their keynotes that they're going to be using. And so I'm just so proud of you and Michelle and Devra.
Aww. And we love you.
I love you all too. Which so brings up a point that I wanted to share about the importance of having a tribe and the importance of asking for help which is totally out of character for me. I was raised that asking for help is a sign of weakness, and you just don't do that. And I have to say that I wouldn't have been able to get through the passing of my mom without my friends, Jill and Julia and Michelle and Devra, who all just kind of like put me in this cocoon and made me feel so safe and loved and able to get through that process. So if you're a woman, well, I guess even if you're a man, we don't have to be sexist, I guess. And you don't have a tribe, get one quickly, because you need a tribe around you to help you get through things. And all of you guys were just amazing. So thank you for that. I love you all.
Well, you're welcome. And we know that you would do the same for us.
Absolutely, I would. Mm-hmm.
So, and I can testify to that because years ago when I lost my mom, I had some, but I didn't have quite the tribe that I have right now or that Missy has. And it would have made all the difference to have somebody like that, because I was telling her I still have some issues with the loss of my mother because I kept putting it away. I thought I was this stoic person and I didn't ask for help or anything like that. So that it is so true. If you can get somebody to help you get through it, and then the main thing is if you feel like you need to cry, do it. Don't hold it back, let it go, because it will just really help you through the rest of your life, because you will always miss your mother. Yeah. So, and your father as well. So that's my story.
And you're sticking to it.
And I'm sticking to it.
Yes, I've never cried so much probably in my whole entire life, but I just decided, you know what, if I feel like crying, I'm just going to cry, because keeping it stuffed down, it just builds up, and then, you turn into a really ugly crier then when that happens. So, we're all about Britney Spears here with, who was that? No, I'm sorry. Redo. Carrie Underwood, who has that song, Cry Pretty. Right?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so if you do it in little increments at a time, it's prettier than just more. Yes.
Yeah. Instead of crying for 3 days straight.
Yes, and your eyes get all puffy. It's no good.
It's not good.
It's not good. So let me talk about this one right now. So Jill is killing it in her business. She has, you have 2 or 3 now?
I have 2.5.
She has 2.5 clients. I'd like to see the one that's a half. I'm just curious. So she has 2.5 clients, and she's doing these events that are amazing at Mackenzie River Grill. This is going to be your third.
This will be the third one.
And so she's going to talk about that event. She's also taken over this amazing networking group called Vegas Connects. And we would tell you about that, but it's sold out because that's how awesome she is. So why don't you share with everybody just what's new with Jill Branson?
All right. So, let's start with, by the way, I really have 3. I just said that to make a joke. What I have is with Vegas Connects, which happens to be tomorrow, I always have a top-notch guest speaker who comes in the first Tuesday of the month. So the third Tuesday is where I have one of the members is able to give a presentation. But so far we've had we had Christina Aldon, and then tomorrow we have Robin S. Eckersley. I lisp with her name. Robin Eckersley. And because I am at P.F. Chang's with this group, I think we're going to enlarge and get to a bigger location. So, yay! Right now I have 6 people on the waiting list. It's already got 20, and I keep getting more. So, the issue is trying to find just the right place where it's comfortable for everybody to come in Henderson, because I'm also going to open a Summerlin location.
Yay.
And so I'm looking at that right now. So I'm hoping that I can find something very soon, and it will begin in March. So I have that, and then Wednesday night, I had been doing my mixers. They're nonprofits with a different nonprofit each time. I was planning on doing it once a quarter, but I've had such great success with it that I'm going to be doing them every other month now. And so tomorrow, or Wednesday night, it's going to be at Mackenzie River Pizza Grill in the City National Arena, where the Vegas Golden Knights practice. And they're so accommodating. They're really awesome. It starts at 5 o'clock. There's going to be raffles, and you can purchase your tickets on Eventbrite, and it's called Valentine's Networking Night Out. They're $15, and it's non-refundable because that money is going to be going to Urban Underdogs, which is an awesome nonprofit. And let me tell you a little bit about it real quick, because she needs to talk too. Urban Underdogs is by Cynthia Miyamoto, who took it upon herself to start this nonprofit, and it's in regards to pets. And we're talking about pets for the homeless, for the indigent, for the elderly, that they're not quite sure sometimes whether they can eat or whether the dog or the cat eats. So they collect food from people, and they also they'll spay or neuter or get them their shots. There's many other things that they do. But, you know, as we all know, with the homeless, that sometimes is their one best friend, is their pet. And the pets don't have a choice in where they live. They just want to be loved. So we want to make sure that they're taken care of. So that's what's happening on Wednesday night. Thank you.
You're welcome. And it's a fun event. If you haven't been, you need to go because it's fun. The whole atmosphere is fun because that's where the Knights practice, and the restaurant's awesome. And then you get to meet some faces that maybe you haven't met before, which is always important when you're networking, right?
Exactly.
And be looking for her new event, Vegas Connects, in the Summerlin area. And the one in Las Vegas, you've had that for
about a year.
About a year. It's a great event too. She has really good speakers. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our show. So today we have the Goddess of Love. I call her that. I don't know if she likes it, but I don't care, because that's what she is. She's all things about love and hearts and fun and her worldwide love story. So she's going to be coming on, Alicia Mejia, and she's also I hope she talks about what she does for copy clarity, that side of her business too.
Yes.
Because if you know how hard it is when you sit down and you're trying to write something about yourself,
right?
And you can't because nothing comes to you. So you need somebody that does that for you, copy clarity. And then we have Devra who's going to be talking about her book, Wake the Health Up. And then we have Michelle Hausbeck, who's always a kick in the pants right when she comes on and she's our guest, because I usually hijack her segment because I love all the Rodan and Field stuff, but I don't know if she's going to talk about that, or she has new branding coming up, and she also has her show, and so she has a lot of exciting things going on as well in her life that she'll be sharing. And then we're currently booked through April for our show. But we're always looking for people that want to come and have you and your business and your face in front of new people. So this time around, we have 15-minute segments, and those are $50 for each segment that you're on. So contact Jill Branson or myself, Missy Day, if you're interested in coming on and being on the show. And I have to tell you what, it's an experience you'll never forget, because it's like being on Johnny Carson or Jay Leno or Jimmy Fallon, depending on how old you are, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's right. And we, as you can see, we laugh a lot. So you won't be nervous at all. It's very comfortable.
That's right. And you won't fall asleep either.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Because we're not boring, are we?
I don't think so. We don't think we're boring.
No.
We like to have fun.
That's right.
So we have about a minute left for our segment. So do you want to do a quick rant?
Oh, gosh.
Talk to me about people that drive in the rain.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get really upset about that. People who either do 30 or 80. And when you are on like the 215, especially because people think, oh, the traffic's not as bad as the 95 or the 15, and they get on there and they are just flying by you, and and my car, for one, is short, little, and it has tires that when you take off from, signal light, if it's red, they spin, which gives me a heart attack. But that's because of all the torque that my car has. And so it scares me when I get out there, and I know that there's a lot of others out there that feel the same. Because you are taking your life in your hands.
Yes. I like the people when it's rainy and there's standing water and you can't see a darn thing, and they are driving 80 miles an hour, weaving in and out of traffic, and you're just hoping that you don't, see them along the side of the road in a fence or something of that nature. Well, we have managed to eat up 15 minutes, and I can't believe that our first segment is already over. So hang with us. And welcome back to 50 Shades of Blonde. I'm Missy Day.
And Jill Branson.
And we're pretty excited because our first guest of our new show and our new studio for the new year is Alicia Mejia.
Yay!
Yay!
I had no idea I was the very first guest of the very first. This is so exciting. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. A first to first.
A first to first. Hey.
First to first.
That's so awesome.
And she brought us like gifts. So, FYI, if you're going to be a guest on our show, we really, really love gifts.
Yeah, bring cool ones.
So we have like these cute heart
cute?
pops. And then she brought us a card that we picked, which represented our word that we picked for the year perfectly. So this was awesome. Thank you for that.
That's such good timing.
And a beautiful stone. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
So you have a lot going on, girly.
I do. I have so much good stuff going on, and I love your guys' words. Can I share mine?
Of course.
Sure.
Okay, so my word for this year is actually embodiment.
Oh.
Good word.
I'm super excited because I've been planning to do a lot of things, and you know how you plan and you plan and you plan? This is the year. 2019 is the year that a lot of things that I've been planning are coming into the physical world, and it's pretty dang exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So,
don't you feel like sometimes, like, you know, you do your business and it's almost like you're waiting to give like birth almost to something, and you're just waiting until it's fully baked and then it can finally come out?
I'm telling you. And then there seems to be like so much practice. You almost feel like you're not doing anything because it's not technically visible. And then all of a sudden everything's visible above the surface. And I feel like that's when you become the overnight superstar.
Right.
Even though you've been, you know, crying over your laptop for the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. So, yeah, it's exciting.
An overnight success right here.
That's exactly what's happening.
So can you share with us some of the cool things that's happening with you?
Okay, so some of the cool things that are happening, well, let's see. Let's start with love, because that's why we are all here, basically.
That's
right. So for now, with Valentine's Day and everything coming up, we're celebrating what is to be the 1-year anniversary of the app, which is 365 Days of Love.
Yay!
Which is very cool. So this is an app that is available for free, download on the iOS store. So I'm sorry, Android users.
Yeah.
We're coming for you, just not yet. We still love you, though.
I think
right?
she said that last year, right?
Yes, she did.
She did. She's working on it. But anyways, so the purpose of the app is that it delivers a new language with which to say I love you every day. And so you can swap out pictures and send little love notes and that sort of thing. So that's very exciting. And we reached, I think we're over like 8,000 downloads right now, which is really exciting because you can watch it on the back end, like make its way around the world. And for whatever reason, we're like huge in Vietnam right now. So,
Very cool.
yeah, that's exciting to me. And I would love some insight onto why that is. But anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on. So we're celebrating the 1-year anniversary of that. And then, as you know, the Worldwide Love Story is the larger project behind that. And we actually have a version of that in beta. Sean Wells is my developer for that, and he's awesome and showed me the beta version of that. So that's really, really exciting. And what we do with that is we actually collect love stories. It's real stories of real people in love. And then we plot where people were standing when they realized they loved someone else on a map. Because ultimately the goal is to create a map where instead of borders and divisions, we actually see where love lived.
That is so cool.
Yeah, that's really, really exciting. So that's what's happening on the love front. And then, as you know, I just did a workshop. It was a copy clarity workshop, because I like to call it my big girl job. So my mission in my big girl job is to help people, special people like you guys who are passion-driven entrepreneurs, connect with their tribe. Because I believe that if we're all doing the work that we're called to do, and we do it at our highest level and our highest vibration, then we're all just making the world a better place. So
that's very cool.
What's happening in this neck of the woods.
That's so awesome. So I was not here. I was out of town for your workshop. So are you going to do another one?
Yes,
I am.
that is my question.
If you couldn't see that just now, when Missy looks at people, she doesn't ask a question. She tells you that you are with her eyes.
That is so true.
I'm all like, I don't want to make eye contact. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. No, I am doing another one. It was really, we had a really great time, and yeah, I think it was very effective on top of it all. So, and that's the biggest takeaway for me is I want people to have something from the workshops that they can put into immediate use right away. So, yeah, I'll definitely do another one.
So help me understand, what is it about a business owner? Why can't we describe ourselves or talk about ourselves or even write a simple email to somebody about what we do?
No kidding.
Chill.
And as a business coach, if you're one of my clients' earmuffs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I tell my clients all the time, you're the face of your business. Know what you're doing, right?
I think that for people it's very difficult to, they think it's almost like talking about themselves or selling themselves, when in fact if we can shift our perception of those sorts of things, then we're not really selling ourselves. We are simply explaining to people how what we do will best help them. And if that's the case, then it takes the selling out of it. You're simply informing, and if you do it well enough, succinctly enough, and in such a way that other people can, 1, understand what you're saying, 2, easily repeat it to others, and then 3, understand who is best served by what you do well, then they're in a better position to, even if it's not for them, then they can go, oh, it's not for me, but I know Jill, and Jill could totally use your services. But they need to be able to remember and easily communicate that. So,
and I recommend that you go to my LinkedIn page.
Oh, right.
Because she did a lot of that.
Of your LinkedIn. It's to me it's really very exciting right now, because we live, if you look this up online, the quote is credited to like 6 or 7 people, so I'll credit it to no one, but it's the sentiment behind it is, I would have written you a shorter letter, but I didn't have the time. And so now in the age that we're in, where everything has to fit in the equivalent of Twitter, or it needs to fit on the header of your Instagram, or any of these things, to me I think that's fun, because we have no choice but to get as succinct and say exactly what you mean to say. And as you saw at the workshop the other night, it's not easy.
No.
And it's fun, in my opinion. Okay, so we had this workshop, and part of the benefit of doing this in a group setting is that you can get immediate feedback from people that don't necessarily know you, and you can see, how does that fall? Does it communicate the message that I want to communicate? And or what's the next question that me saying this about myself generates for you, so that you can be prepared, right? But also in saying that, at this workshop, we're all like, God, man, that's hard.
Yeah,
so
It was.
Yeah,
it was hard.
it takes some time, but it can be fun if you let it be fun and sit around and.
Well, I like that you started with my LinkedIn, and then it just kind of carried over to Facebook, which carried over to, my website. Just
Yes, and personally, I love starting with LinkedIn because, again, it's a finite amount of space,
Right.
and because it immediately elevates your language has to show up in a certain way. If your clientele is on LinkedIn, then you need to speak the same language, meet people where they stand. So that part of it is it's a creative challenge, but to me that's a great place to start, because when you start with LinkedIn, then it doesn't matter what you do, because those pieces are like Lego pieces,
Right.
for lack of a
Yeah,
better analogy,
Right.
that you can pull out and you can take those components and use them elsewhere. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, I'm always amazed. So Alicia wrote my LinkedIn page also, which carried over into my website when I rebranded. And then she's been doing pitches for me. So I had no idea that companies really, what a pitch is. I just thought you said, hey, hire me. I'm a great speaker. But that's not what it is. And there's a lot of research. You've done a lot of research behind looking, what they're looking for. And you send me those pitches and I read them. I'm like, wow, that is so cool. Is that really me?
Amazing. And to your credit, though, I have to hand it to you, because Missy's a blast as well, because when you give her an idea, because I love these sorts of things, because to me, in a way, it's in alignment with who I am, because writing for me is a sense of matchmaking, right? Like, you have these companies that you want to go meet, and I love to go find what you two have in common and then go, hey, you two should meet. You should act this out with puppets in our next episode. But that is so much fun. But when I'm doing that I get these really cool ideas, and I'm like, oh, Missy, we should try this and we should try that. And she's all like, okay. So I think if you can have fun with it and let who you really are, and obviously she's a really creative, fun person, if you can let that shine through, it's just you're that much more consistent from the start, and who you are as a brand shows up. It's important that if you're going to pitch someone, that who shows up to give that presentation is the same person
Right.
that you pitched. So
Right. And she has awesome ideas, I have to say, really creative, unique ideas. Because I tell my clients all the time, you have to create some kind of wow, something that's going to set you apart and make you stand out from all the other people that are trying to get the same job. And so one of the ideas I kind of stole from something Alicia talked about. So I have a workshop where I talk about charging what you're worth. And you know that you're getting close to the right price when you feel like you want to throw up. And so she talked about barf bags. And so, I love Amazon because you can go on and find anything. So I have these cute pink barf bags now that I'm going to be taking to the workshop so that people are reminded. They can hang up their barf bag and say, am I charging what I'm worth? Because if you're charging what you're worth, you're going to feel sick to your stomach. I guarantee it, because we're not good at pricing ourselves to our value. We're good at pricing ourselves at what makes us feel comfortable, that we're projecting onto our potential clients, that they'll feel comfortable paying. So I just say, if you feel like you're going to puke, you're right there.
And I love that that's the example that you brought up, because part of the thing that we talked about as well is that it's important to give people something with which to remember you by. So even if
if it's a barf bag.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
even
exactly.
if I can't remember Missy Day's name, right?
that.
I leave this experience and I go, wow, I can't remember what she was, but who's that lady that gave us the barf bags? If you put that out on Facebook, or you put the thing out on LinkedIn or whatever, among the people that attended that event or whatever, people, even if they might not remember her name, are going to remember the barf bag. So it's the whole matter of making it as easy as possible for people to either remember you, contact you, do business with you. I mean, and that's funny. It's funny because it's true. It's true because I've done that before. I've taken Missy's counsel and I went, oh, okay, that's how much I want. So yeah, it's fun. I mean, why not laugh? If you're doing your business and you love what you do, right? Then why not have fun doing it?
That's right.
We're not in the mortuary
That's
business, and even if you are, we'll find something to make that funny too. Yeah, it's fun.
So you have a lot of things that you do, that you have your finger on, a lot of different things. So if you had to just pick one thing that brings you the most joy, what would it be?
Hands down, the thing that brings me the most joy, I say it's my mission in life to raise the vibration of love on the planet. So for me, it is doing anything that communicates to people that either love is possible or that, just that love exists and it's possible for them. So, yeah.
No matter how old you are.
No matter how old,
Right.
no matter how many times you've tried, if it's worked out, hasn't worked out, whatever. I'm such a firm believer in the hope that surrounds love. So if I could do nothing but get that message out into the world, it'd be fantastic for me.
So how are you doing? I know that you had done a pitch, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how is that coming along?
That's coming along fantastic. So the pitch that you're referring to, I believe, is the one for Startup Nevada. Is that it?
Right.
Right. Yes. So the one of the somewhat challenging things about the Worldwide Love Story is that I always said if money were no object, I would do nothing but just work on that and work on that alone. However, my issue, I guess you could say, around it was I wanted to be sure that it was a legitimate business, but one that didn't make money in a way that felt out of alignment or out of integrity or cheap or whatever. And so therefore, until that's happened, I haven't made any money off of it really to speak of. So in saying that though, I went, the state of Nevada has a nonprofit called Startup Nevada. Yeah, Startup Nevada. And it's a small business incubator program. And so I went and pitched to that with your help. And I was given some feedback, and they're like, okay, we like it, but, you need to change X, Y, and Z. So I went, okay, awesome. Went and changed X, Y, and Z, came back in 90 days, and they were like, what are you doing here? They're like, nobody ever comes back. I'm like, what do you mean no one comes back? You just told me exactly what to change. So anyways, changed the things, came back, and now the Worldwide Love Story is legitimately in the Startup Nevada Small Business Incubator Program, which is absolutely fantastic because in saying that then, it sort of fast-tracks you into finding ways to be a big girl when it comes to running a business. So super excited about that. Yeah, I just started to work with my new mentor. Her name is Mejia out of Reno, who is just an absolute dream. People person, connector, believes in people over process. Can't wait for you guys to meet her. It'll be awesome. So yeah,
Very
it's
cool.
just been like a dream come true, really.
So how can everybody that's viewing get a hold of you?
Okay, so you can either find me on Facebook under Alicia Mejia, or it's almost easier to find me on any kind of social under Romance CEO. So it'd be Instagram and pretty much everywhere else. Oh, do we have time? Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
Okay, so what prompted the whole vision really for the 365 Days of Love app was this video that I was going to make. That you ever see those things that it's like, oh, it's my word for the year, but it spins so fast you have to take a screenshot? So I actually finished the video, and I will post it to your guys' page. But now it's to figure out what your love language is. So it spins through like over 300 different love languages, and you have to take a screenshot of it.
Oh, cool.
So that's my Valentine's Day gift for to the world this year. If you want to take a screenshot and spread the word, that would really help us raise the vibration of love. Oh, and download the app store.
Unless you have an Android.
Right.
Then you should probably make friends with someone that doesn't. Or you could just petition. We're really trying to get Missy and Jill to come over to the dark side.
Dark
To the
side.
dark side,
Yeah.
I know.
Cookies
I
and
just
cool
don't know
apps.
if I can do it.
Oh, you can do it. Trust me. Yeah, you can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you.
Well, that wraps up our segment with Alicia Mejia. And so if you would like to find her on social media, you can under Romance CEO. And stay tuned. We'll be right back with Devra Betts. Hi, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Blonde. I'm Missy Day.
And Jill Branson.
And we have our good friend, somebody that's part of our tribe, Devra Betts, author of Wake the Health Up, is with us for this segment. Welcome, Devra.
Yay.
Hello there. It's so
Glad you're
exciting
here.
in this new amazing space.
Yes.
And Devra and her husband Ray have a show that's called Chew on This. And so they had their show. They did theirs today, too. They were the first one up. So what do you think about our new digs?
I love it. It's just, what's not to love?
Right.
The lights, the makeup, the hair.
I know, it's the whole thing.
Just
We
an
feel
awesome
like
staff.
we're on real TV, right?
Real TV. Yeah, it's like you said. I love where we came from, and this is amazing. I love the space. I can't wait to see what's next with that space.
Yes.
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah.
So you talked about your word when you were on Michelle's show. So tell us about your word, and then I have a question for you about your word.
Oh.
For those of you who know Missy, that's always a scary thing.
She's scared. Yeah, she's scared now.
So my word is boldness, any kind of form of bold, because I was kind of struggling with, picking a word. And I was actually reading a scripture, and it was in Romans. I can't remember where it is right now. But it's about the power and having power and boldness in Christ. And the word boldness stuck out because it's really easy for me to shrink back and just be, in the back of the room. But if I'm going to share this message that health is possible for anybody, we don't have to live with symptoms that keep us from doing what we love, that it was going to require some courage and boldness on my part to step out and do that.
So my question to you is, so when you look at this book and you think of your word, what bold steps did you take to make this a reality?
The first one was to decide to act on the prompting to write it. Because I thought about it, and the first thing that would think, oh, who wants to hear what I have to say?
Right.
And just realizing that I come from a unique experience. I've been there, I've done that, I've had the experience. I know from personal experience that you don't have to live with those symptoms that keep you from going out and embracing those dreams that God's planted on our hearts. Because I was there, I'm too tired, I have a headache, I don't feel well, I can't. So all the things that I couldn't do, I kind of embraced that instead of now I'm 64 and a half, and I have more energy than I did when I was 30. I am healthy. I have a clean bill of health. I continue to lose the weight. I want to snap my fingers and have it be done, but it's a process, people. It's a process. And it's every day waking up and deciding choose to love ourselves, to take the steps to be healthy.
Right. So when you started out, so I've heard your story, when you share your story, of what really motivated you to go on your own journey was your parents, right? So is there a new motivating factor for you now that keeps the momentum going?
Every time a friend calls me and says, I have cancer, I have MS, I have a headache, I can't do the speaking engagement that I want to do. Every time someone says something like that to me, it breaks my heart just a little bit, because we're not taught how to care for our body, how it works, and how the food that we eat, the things that we think, whether we move or not, we're not taught how all those things play a role, and that we have the power to choose. And we're complacent. So we don't pay attention to what they're doing to the food. We don't pay attention to what's going on with our water, our air supply. And all those things play a role in maybe our inability to achieve the health that we want. And so it's waking up, what's going on around you, what do we have control over? And that's really what the book is. There's a lot of things that play a role in preventing us from having the health we want, but there's also steps that we can take personally to achieve the optimal health that we want.
Awesome.
I know, because I was really proud of you, because I know that there were many, many times when we were all doing something and she said, no, I can't. And it was very hard to do that because you want to do all these other things. You have all these things happening, and you focused and you stayed focused when you did the book. And it was inspiring to me because I have to follow your lead.
The other, you asked about what else prompts me is the escalating rise of chronic disease in our life. Chronic disease is something that is a lifestyle disease, but they're affecting our children at an alarming rate. And even as parents and grandparents, if we don't wake up and start changing how we nourish our kids, that's just going to continue to increase as well.
Right.
And your book is really easy to read. It's not like you're reading something and you have to go look up words. You really, it's down to earth. It says it like it is.
Yeah.
And that's important for me because I just want to read it like I'm talking to you now, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the really cool thing about your book is because it is in your language.
Right.
And when you read the book, it's like listening to you talk about it. You can feel your compassion and passion, and your commitment to help others is all over that book. And I know that Fred has read it here and there, and so this morning, and it's funny with men because I think men have to come to a place where it was their idea when they share things, it just goes down better for them, I think. So this morning we were talking and he said, did you know that your gut affects your brain? And I was like, really? That's so fascinating. So it's like, there's little bits and pieces, that he's picked up, but it's fun to listen to him talk to his friends about glyphosate and making the right food choices and then the gut brain thing. So I think your book, and this is the cool thing about books, is you never know whose life you're changing, right? But I think that if you are feeling sick and tired of being sick and tired, you need to get Wake
That's
the
the
Health
book.
Up. And because it's in simple to understand terms, and it's not one of those books where you feel like somebody's going like this to you.
Right.
Oh, don't eat that, that's bad, that's bad. It's in a way that you feel like I have this knowledge and now it's my choice, right? If I want to make a difference.
Right.
Well, part of the knowledge isn't any good until you do some action, right? For the transformation. And that's why it was important to me to include some questions in there for the reader to examine, well, how does this show up in my life right now? And then what are some steps that I want to take to actually transform, to put the power into the reader's hand.
So what's up next now for Devra?
What's up next?
That's a very good question.
That
I
is
want
a
to
good
know.
question. I would love to travel. We're looking at some things for book signings across the country. Ray and I are thinking about doing a cross-country tour this summer. I'm working with actually Alicia and Michelle on different activities, and I am so excited about what is coming because it's that clarity about what your message is. And so to share we talked about coaches being on every street corner like a 7-Eleven, and I really have this passion to help people transform their life because it is possible. And so talking about wellness architect, because you have to lay that strong foundation for a strong immune system and mentally, physically, and spiritually. And so much about that excites me, about being a wellness architect. And even talking to corporations, because I've talked to so many people who they have staff and they can't get their staff to do anything after lunch. Well, hello.
Right.
If you feed them, if
reason.
you're feeding them sugared, high processed carbohydrates all morning long, and you make them eat in 30-minute segments and rush them around, they're not going to be much use in the afternoon. So maybe changing the landscape of corporations, how they honor the health of their staff. I would love to do that.
And I think too, we've talked about this before, about restaurants. For people, it is so confusing because there's so many terms. And, if you walk into, like yesterday, for example, I was in Sprouts and I was looking at, they have this big sign, gluten-free. But then when you read the ingredients, it's like the first ingredient usually is sugar, right? So they take out one thing, but there's still other things. And I think restaurants are really, I don't know, for lack of a better word, kind of sneaky sometimes because they'll say we have a clean menu or we have clean food. And what does that mean exactly?
Right.
What does that mean? Well, because you're right. When anything says free, there is no free lunch. When they take out gluten, when they take out fat, when they take out sugar, they add something else in that may be, just as harmful to your body.
Right.
For an example, BPA is all the rage right now in plastics and everything. Well, there's other plastics that are just as harmful to your health. And so some people are trying to do what's right, but they're just missing the mark a little bit, and some are intentionally trying to mislead the public. And so that's why it's so important for us as consumers to be educated, to know what it is that we're buying, what we're spending our money on, because money is the biggest way we can vote.
Right.
So we start spending money on things that that are helpful to us and our children, then other companies will start changing how they do business. Because you can't assume that they have our best interests in heart. The bottom line usually is money.
Right.
Yeah. So, but be an informed consumer, because your life really does depend on it.
And whenever I see restaurants that they'll say they'll sell you a complete entire meal for like $5.95, it's like, what kind of quality am I eating here?
Yeah. Dollar meals, if you think of food as information to nourish the body, because you're to think, to walk, to act, your cells need to have nourishment. And so you got to really consider, when I decide to eat something, is that going to nourish my body? Or is it just going to be empty calories? And as long as you're doing empty calories, your body's going to keep looking for more. So you're going to be trying to eat everything in sight because your body is really looking for some nutrient.
Right.
That happens to me a lot.
But you have the power to change that.
That's right. And I
think a lot of times when people know what causes the cravings, it's much easier to then change that.
And I've been able to say no. It's been I just feel so good to say no to something that I used to say yes to 5-6 times a week. I won't mention any names, but let's put it that way. I've lost 15 pounds.
Yeah, you look amazing.
That's great.
So it is. Mentally, I feel better because you get more clarity when you stop eating all the crap. That's
Someone
the only
told me
way
one
to put
time
it.
that nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. And that's one of the things that I tried to hold on to as I started my transformation. Was it worth how I was going to feel when I ate it?
Oh, right.
For one thing.
Sometimes
Your
I
body
don't
will
think
tell you.
that way. Like yesterday's Super Bowl party. But I did really good. I didn't keep eating all those, like there was all these desserts and there was every kind of food you could imagine, and I took I had a little plate, small portions, and I stayed away from the stuff that I knew I should, and I was fine with that.
Yeah.
It's just habit. You have to change your habits.
Oh, and remember, it's so weird. You and I talked about this one day when I love ice cream. And every time I ate ice cream, my stomach hurt and I felt sick. And it's like, why is it that you don't remember that?
Yeah, I know.
And the next time you're around, sure, I'll have ice cream, and then your stomach hurts and you're sick and you're like, wow, I remember this now.
That's right.
Actually, it's a pain. A lot of people don't like to do it, but that's why journaling what you eat and how you feel afterwards is such a good idea. Because for that very thing,
you can go back
you start
and look
seeing
it
a
up.
pattern.
Yeah.
I eat gluten, I feel like this. If I eat dairy, I feel like this. If I eat, for some people, it could be an allergy to even avocado or something that we think is good for us.
Right.
But it's not good for your particular body. But yeah. So now you know that ice cream is
Yes, now I remember that now after like, I don't know, 60 years. Ice cream, I can't have it. So tell the people that are viewing how they can get your fabulous book, Wake the Health Up.
Amazon.com. Wake the Health Up. Devra Betts.
And how can they get a hold of you?
DevraBetts.com. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all those social media sites by my name, Devra Betts.
So Devra Betts is the person that you're looking for if you want any information on your health. Wake the Health Up, your life depends on it, or the first Monday of every month, you can watch her and Ray Betts on their show Chew on This, where they give wealth of knowledge. And thank you for coming on our first show today of the new year.
Thank you so much for having me. I was excited to be here.
Yay.
You're welcome. Stay tuned for our next segment. We're going to have Michelle Hausbeck on, so stay tuned. and welcome back to 50 Shades of Blonde. I'm Missy Day.
Jill Branson.
And we have one of our favorite guests. Am I allowed to say that?
No, you can't. It's too late now. You already said it.
Yes, you can say that.
One of our favorite blonde guests, Michelle Hausbeck, is with us again. Yay! Yay! So I promise I won't hijack your segment, because I feel like I do that every single time that you're on. I just take over all the Rodan and Field stuff.
You're more than welcome to do that. It's better to hear it from you than me,
right.
I'm sure.
She's a heck of a testimony.
She is. She's a walking testimony. I love
That's
it.
right.
So all of us all day have been doing our first shows in our new home, and we've all been talking about our words, and there is a sense of excitement that's with everybody, for this year, because there's a lot of what that's happening with all of our businesses and our lives, and we're just all so excited about everything. So first let's talk about, so I'm going to ask you the same question. So tell me what your word is.
It is rise.
And so Michelle did a great job of talking about what that word meant, rise, to you. So when you think back over the last, let's say, year, and what is the one thing that's really propelled you to rise this year?
The fact that all last year, with your help, I figured out the direction I wanted to head in. Because at the beginning of last year, I had a whole different idea of what I thought I wanted to do. But allowing myself time, taking feedback, reading, doing some internal work, I figured out what my passion is, or a few passions that I have. And so I worked really hard to start to build a foundation so that I could just roll with it this year. And rise, to me, is rising to the occasion, stepping out, taking action, stepping out in faith, and just getting poop done.
There's that word. Yay.
Yeah, we like poop around here.
We do. It's a fun word to say.
So have you looked at this year and figured out pockets of where you're going to rise? And if so, what do those pockets look like to you?
Yes, well, the first one, the biggest one, I think this year, because to me it's a huge foundation, is my rebrand. So it's design and marketing business still. It's a lot of the same services, just a different process that I'm doing, and I'm really partnering with my clients this year. And I started doing it towards the middle of last year, and it has just been a huge success. Both for myself and my clients. So my rebrand is going, I keep talking about it, and I just want it done. But the website's in development right now, so that's going to launch in March, and I'm going to have a fun party.
It's very cool.
And I'm just excited about it, very excited.
It's an exciting process.
It is.
I mean, all of us, I think, today have either gone through it or in the process of going through it, and it's very cool. It just feels like it gives you another breath of fresh air and a new exciting process that you get to follow. Because I think, there was lots of reasons why I had to rebrand. I mean, it was necessary. But also, I think you just get a little stale or something, and you just need another kick from behind. It's just going to propel you into making new stuff happen for your business.
Yeah, and for me, it has really revived my passion, and it made me, taking all that time last year, made me get back to the root of why I even started doing this as a profession in the, almost 20 years ago. It got back down to the root, and I took that root and what I love and made that the forefront of what the new brand is and the processes and the clients I'm partnering with. So I rearranged a lot of things and got rid of the stuff, or found someone else I can partner with or refer to of the stuff I didn't like to do or wasn't maybe the best at, and I'm focusing on where I really can shine and help my client shine.
Right.
Well, and to me, I mean, personally, we all change. Like, look at yourself 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if I went back, it's many years, by the way. If I went back and I started from like being 20 and then 30 and 40, 50, 60, it's like huge strides and in growth, personal growth. So when that happens, obviously that's when you need changes in your
Right.
business as well.
Well, my tagline, give you a little sneak peek, is design your next chapter. Because our
perfect.
lives are filled with chapters, like you were saying.
Yeah.
As people, we change. Life circumstances change. You know, we grow, we learn. So to me, it's kind of, it's chapters in life. And rebranding or starting a new business it's opening another chapter. You know, you got a fresh page to start with.
Right. Which is always exciting. That's the cool thing, you know, about when the new year. I always think about, you know, in November, it's time to wrap up, you know, what has happened, you know, what did I accomplish, what do I want to change for the new year, and then to have like a whole year in front of you that you can create whatever you want is so exciting. But the thing about that is that you're the one that's in charge of driving that vehicle and making it happen.
Yep, you have a choice.
Right, yes, we all have choices. And so like you're talking about the passion planner, which I love too, by the way, but it's not going to do you any good if it sits there blank
Nope.
for a whole year. You're the one that has to go in and write it down and make sure that it happens.
Yeah. And you gave me like the best advice ever was to plan a month, not just a week. I did that Sunday, and I was like, oh, look at all this time I have. What can I do with it? Instead of being so stressed out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Devra was saying in her segment, you know, on your show, that everything, you know, takes up time. And if you just go in and you just put down a couple things, then life is happening all the time. And you need every little thing. I tell my clients all the time, everything has to be written down or else it's not going to happen. And it's so true. Like she was saying, you know, meal prep or doing laundry or things like that. And people will look at me and roll their eyes like, oh my God. But I'm telling you, something's going to get left out if it's not on paper.
Yep.
That's right.
100%. It will. I agree.
And you're very good at doing your calendar.
I am. I am. That's why my calendar is full. Really full.
You're making stuff happen.
I'm making
That's right.
stuff happen. That's right. And I've got, not only do I have that, but I also kind of go, I think I need a 3-day weekend here, or I need, you know, we're planning for something, it might be March or whatever. But it's something, you know, that you have to look forward to besides working 7 days a week. You got to have a day or two,
You do.
Yeah.
you know.
Missy over here, she's like, I hope you have fun planned in that calendar of yours.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Which I do.
Good.
Well, you know, when you have passion about what it is you're doing, you know, it doesn't seem like work.
It
We talk
doesn't.
about that all the
We
time.
just had that conversation
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
week.
So
Yeah.
it's where we're happy, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
But you still have to take time to
You do.
rest.
Yes, you
And
even
get
need
away.
a break from your happy place from time to
Yes.
time, even if it's the happy place is your work. You still
Right.
need a time to like unwind and just de-stress.
I agree.
So, you know, I'm going to just go ahead and just do it.
I use this too, by the way.
So I'm going to do the
See?
segue real quick for Missy.
Do you want to do a zoom in on these?
So one of the things that I think is important in life, and you and I, Missy and I just had this conversation too, is to have multiple streams of income. Not to
Exactly.
put all your eggs in one basket. You know, most multi-bazillion-dollar people and very successful people do have multiple streams of income. One of mine happens to be, I own a skincare business with Rodan and Fields, as a lot of you probably know, it's my fun place. I absolutely love it. So I brought on today one of my favorite products, Missy's favorite products, most people's favorite products, Jill's, is the Lash Boost. And it just got written up by Oprah's magazine, this last issue, as the top 1 out of 8 lash serums.
Wow.
So why don't you tell us, Missy, about Lash
Sure.
Boost?
All about it,
I'll tell you all about it. So, this is Lash Boost, and it's very simple, easy peasy. You take it out, and on a clean eye, you go whoop, whoop, over your lashes before you go to bed. And so my message to you is, are you tired of spending so much money on getting false eyelashes? Are you tired of going and laying on a table with your eyes closed so you can have your lashes put on only to have them fall off? Well, you know what? You too can have your very own eyelashes that are long and full. All you have to do is get Lash Boost.
That
Oh
was
my
really
gosh.
good. Wait, it's my turn. Let's share.
Can we just cut that out and like that's my my PR?
You're going to have it in video.
Yeah,
there you
right.
go.
All right, Jill, your turn.
Okay.
I love that.
First of all, if you're over a certain age, and I'm just going to say it, okay? I'm 67 and a half. And your eyelashes get thinner. So they start to fall. One day you look and you go, what happened? So you put this on, and I'm telling you, Lash Boost will start to, your lashes will, I can't talk. Your lashes will not only get longer.
She's that excited.
They'll get a little bit, they'll start growing back in again. It's awesome. So I highly recommend it. All right.
Yay.
There you go.
Thank you, ladies. Nothing more to say. Okay, one more thing. You can use it on your eyebrows as well.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yes.
That's true.
So can I read the testimonial from Oprah's magazine?
Of course.
Because the interesting part about it is a guy tested it out.
Oh.
And fun fact, I had my husband actually test out Lash Boost for me. Thanks, Doug.
He's so awesome.
And it worked. So here's what he said. I'm not easily impressed, but just a few weeks after I started trying this brush-on serum, I noticed a huge difference. It got to the point where I had to stop using it because my lashes were getting too long. We're talking touching the lens of my sunglasses long. Brian Underwood, beauty director at the Oprah magazine.
That's awesome.
It doesn't get much better than that.
No.
When you can get that kind of endorsement.
I know. Oprah needs to use it and put it out. Put it out there.
And you know what's really interesting is like when you start putting it on your eyebrows, it makes sure the eyebrows, I think, grow faster than your eyelashes when you're using it. For me, anyways, it seems like it did. Because I was getting like the eyebrows that like, you know, deteriorate about this side of your eye.
Right in the
and they
middle.
they go to nothing, and you're like, yeah, that's a great look. Especially
You look like you're questioning stuff all the time. Did you have a question, Missy? No.
no, I just look confused because half of my eyebrow is missing.
So it worked to fill in the rest of the
Yes.
the arch.
Yes, I don't look like
God, that's
all the
hilarious.
time.
Yeah, it worked. I have little patches on the top of mine too, probably from age, and I just
They get thinner.
my beautician gal said just use the Lash Boost; it'll fill it in. I'm
And
like, I
here,
had
too, sometimes, in the center. Yeah.
yeah. So if you need to grow hair anywhere on your body,
Oh, dear. I don't know if I wanted to hear that.
we are not here to judge, but it works.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
Oh dear.
That was funny.
So, if you're looking to rebrand your business, if you're looking to kick your business in the ass because it needs it, are we allowed to say that word?
I don't
Yes,
know.
we
I just
are.
did.
You can say whatever you want.
It's your show.
And just take it to the next level. Or if you just want to run by your business with Michelle, that you can do all of those things and more for your business, how can they get a hold of you?
They can email me at michelle@444creative.com for now until the name changes. You can find me on social media, Michelle Poe Hausbeck, or you can shoot me a text, 702-334-7228, or give me a call. I'm pretty reachable.
She just gave everybody her phone number,
I
FYI.
did. You know what? It's out there, and I get crap calls all the time from telemarketers.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Somebody's got your number.
I know. That's okay.
But even if you do need all those things I just mentioned, you have to text her and get the lash boost. I'm serious. Like, really.
Oh, one more thing. So my fun thing for Rodan and Fields this month is it's my birthday month.
Yay!
So I have this fun little thing. So throughout the month of February, on any orders over $100, which Lash Boost is over $100, you take your birth year and add up each number individually, and that's the cash back I'll give you.
I'm in.
So if you were born in like 1975, that would be $22. I had to do quick math.
Yeah.
1 + 9 + 7 + 5. So everybody gets whatever their birth year is added up as cash back.
Very
Awesome.
cool.
Yay.
This is when I wished I was younger.
Wow. Well, we're out of time, and I
We
can't
certainly
believe
are.
that our first show is done for an hour. And thank you to our guests, Michelle Hausbeck, Devra Betts, and Alicia Mejia. And thank you to Jill Branson for being my sidekick for our awesome show. And thank you for joining. And what would you like to say?
I don't have anything left to say. No, I just want to say goodbye. And also, thank you so much for tuning in. And we can't wait to have you watch us next month. And next month it will be again the first Monday of March. What month is this? February.
Yes.
March.
And around 2-ish,
Around 2-ish,
maybe?
yes.
Somewhere around there. So thank you for tuning in. We're so excited to be back. Have a great month, and we'll see you in March.